President Trump's threat to invoke the Insurrection Act is not merely a hardline statement, it is a rhetorical earthquake that strikes at the heart of American democracy. The act, a rarely used and deeply controversial law, grants a president the power to deploy the U.S. military on domestic soil, effectively overriding governors and local authorities. By raising it publicly, Trump signals a willingness to move beyond conventional law enforcement and into a realm where civil authority yields to armed force. What makes the threat extraordinary is not just the law itself, but the context in which it is being invoked. The Insurrection Act has historically been reserved for moments when the nation faced open rebellion or when states refused to enforce constitutional rights. To reference it in response to civil unrest, protest, or political opposition reframes dissent as disorder, and disorder as justification for militarization. That shift alone alters the democratic conversation. Critics warn that invoking the act would blur the line between maintaining order and suppressing opposition. Once federal troops are placed in American streets under presidential command, traditional checks, local consent, civilian oversight, and political accountability are weakened. Supporters argue it represents strength and control. Opponents counter that it risks normalizing authoritarian responses to domestic challenges. The power of the Insurrection Act lies in its speed and scope. Unlike other emergency measures, it allows immediate action with minimal procedural barriers. That efficiency, designed for true national emergencies, becomes alarming when paired with political rhetoric that frames internal disagreement as an existential threat. History shows that democracies are most vulnerable when emergency powers become tools of convenience rather than last resort. More than a legal maneuver, the threat functions as a signal to supporters, to institutions, and to the military itself. It tests boundaries, gauges resistance, and reshapes expectations of what presidential authority can look like in moments of tension. Even without being invoked, the mere suggestion recalibrates the balance between civil liberty and state power. Ultimately, the significance of Trump's threat is not whether the Insurrection Act is triggered, but what its invocation implies: a vision of governance where force precedes consensus and where order is enforced rather than negotiated. In democratic systems, such moments are not judged by how power is used, but by how easily leaders are willing to reach for it.